It was the Sunday after a presidential election. I, Jonathan, had been teaching an adult Sunday school class on Christians and government that fall. The church, like most of the nation, was still absorbing the result of the election's unexpected outcome, and feelings that morning were raw. I began the class by talking about sympathy. I wanted to encourage members whose candidate had won on Tuesday to sympathize with members whose candidate had lost. Christian maturity, I observed to the class, knows how to both disagree with someone and yet still show compassion. An older minority woman whose candidate had lost raised her hand and said that she had not felt any sympathy from the church and that she was scared. Minutes later, a middle-aged white woman raised her hand and said she was astonished at my call for sympathy because the losing side was evil. At that moment, you can be sure, I second-guessed my decision to teach that class that morning. Yet those two women offer us something very honest, a picture of how challenging it can be to love people with different political opinions, even when they are members of the same church. This question is what we want to address in this book. How can we love fellow church members when we disagree on political matters? Make no mistake, Andy and I are writing this booklet because we need it too. We can both think of moments that highlight our own challenges to love when political topics arise. Moments like avoiding that guy who always wants to talk about his political hobby horse, or regarding that woman condescendingly because she just feels too far right or too far left, or feeling like that fellow member is the enemy, maybe not even a real Christian because he voted for the other side. Such feelings can arise whether viewing people to our right or to our left on the political spectrum. Why we feel skeptical or angry toward fellow members amid political differences. Our concern here is not with the mild disagreements, ones that don't affect the heart's posture toward someone else. Rather, we're interested in the disagreements that affect your heart's posture or that hinder fellowship with another person in your church. Maybe you feel scorn. Maybe you are angry that they support a cause that you are convinced is unjust. You might even find yourself questioning their profession of faith. How can they be Christians and support that? We can think of at least 3 reasons such skepticism arises in our hearts amid such disagreements. Reason 1, justified people care about justice. The work of government is fundamentally concerned with matters of justice, and people who have been justified by Christ, Christians, care about justice. They care about righteous judgments, which is one way to define justice from the Bible. It makes sense, therefore, that you would ask questions, even become skeptical when Christians choose what appears to be a path of injustice. They appear to be making unrighteous judgments. Let's unpack all of this. God instituted governments to establish a basic platform of justice for everyone created in His image. That means all those conversations you have with friends and colleagues about the election, abortion, immigration, poverty, same-sex marriage, criminal justice reform, America's trade policy with China, or party membership are conversations fundamentally about justice. Furthermore, anger is the God-given emotion for responding to injustice. If you hear of a child being abused, you should be angry. Anger's purpose, after all, is to oppose. We Christians should all oppose injustice. So think again of your conversation with fellow church members over the election, or immigration, or welfare policy. When they disagree with you, your instincts tell you they are choosing injustice. They are recommending unrighteous judgments, and that can make you angry. If it's a particularly significant issue, it can even tempt you to question their standing in the faith. Why? Think about it like this. James tells us that true faith creates good deeds, and that good deeds demonstrate our faith. Our good works prove that our faith is genuine. I will show you my faith by my works, he says in James 2:18. Which means, when deeds are absent, we lack evidence for faith. James even questions the faith of someone who demonstrates no deeds. You believe that God is one, you do well. Even the demons believe and shudder, James 2:19. Like Jesus said, you will recognize them by their fruits, Matthew 7:16-20.